Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to Sandcast, Beach Volleyball with Bourne and Travis Mewhirter, presented as always by our good friends at volleyballmag.com. We've got a little bonus episode for you here today because the cat is sort of out of the bag that my boy and co-host Bourne is signed up for an FIVB in Vienna, I believe, is the one that the registration came out. So talk to us. What's happening?
Yeah, it feels good. First step is just to sign up. Whether I'm ready to play or not, that's another question. But basically, we've gotten to a point in the year where I knew this whole time that I wanted to play in an event by the end of the year, and Moscow and Vienna are the last events of the 2018 season. So, and you have to sign up for them well in advance. So, in case I'm ready to play, I signed up for the events. So that I can start my clock, which means I need to play at least one event this year to get my points back. They give you a 2-year span, and if I don't play this year, unless the FIVB pushes my window back a little bit, which is possible, to the last event, the first event that I missed due to this illness, but we don't know what the date is yet. So basically, I just signed up just in case I'm ready to play in these last 2 events of the season.
Right. And so was it weird? Was it cool to see your name back on the registration with a little American flag next to your name?
Yeah, it was cool. It's weird seeing it. For all these years, I've seen it next to Hayden's name.
Right.
But I signed up with Casey Patterson for Moscow and with Chase Frischman for Vienna. Patterson would be playing with Stafford, but I think they're going to sit out of that event because Stafford has family reasons to be home or something like that.
I think he's got a kid on the way.
Right. And then Chase wasn't signed up for Vienna. I had to sign up with someone that wasn't signed up already, so I just kind of went down the list. I was like, oh, Frischman.
Not a bad pickup.
Let's go, buddy.
For Chase, who has been on the podcast too.
Yeah, but it doesn't really mean all that much. There's nothing certain about it. 21 days before the event, you're allowed to switch partners or pull out. So we'll see how I feel, and I think that's coming up in a week or so. So I'll have to figure it out by then. But yeah, just signed up just in case I'm ready to go. But the goal right now is to be ready for the beginning of 2019 season.
Right.
I wouldn't have signed up for these events so far in advance if I didn't have to. I don't know what. And in terms of domestically, I don't know what I'm trying to play in or if I'm trying to play. Those will kind of be last-minute decisions.
Yeah. And how is just your health in general? Because you've been back in the gym for a while. Didn't take long for you to get all ripped up again either. So just kind of explain like where you are in terms of like your health. And we were out on the beach this morning playing around. Mm-hmm. Your touch came back pretty quick. Yeah,
I got the touch. I mean, I've been getting some reps over the last few months just in terms of whether I'm out in the park by myself, setting balls into the basketball hoop, or even just setting balls on the couch and doing a lot of standing reps, working on my arm swing against the wall. So I've gotten my touches, just not the game reps and all the stuff that gets you in shape to actually play volleyball. So right. I'm a little fragile and not in the kind of shape that I need to be in, but I'm seeing the game pretty well considering I haven't played in 2 years, and my touch feels pretty great actually.
It was funny when me and Kame were playing against Phil and Nick, and you were over there with like your 20 balls just hitting standing shots. Phil looked over and he goes, "That looks so boring." I was like, dude, that's probably like the highlight of Try's month.
Yeah.
Like he finally gets to move again.
I hit way too many balls that day too, and my shoulder hurt for a week. I was like, oh yeah, forgot my shoulder's not used to that. It's actually cool because like that stuff is kind of fascinating me now. I'm like, oh, I can tweak my game a little bit. I can get these little, like we went out to the nets, the low racquetball nets today, me and you, and I can work on all these small things. It was basically no jump blocking because the net's really low. But that's the kind of the stuff that I think separates the great ones, and I'm even more fascinated and entertained by it this time around.
Yeah. And I'm sure that like these past 2 years, you've probably learned a lot just about the game in general and what you want as a player to like come back as. Like, are you starting to tweak your own game as you ease your way back into it?
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to tell what my game's like. I can't sit here and be like, yeah, I got way better this whole time, because I haven't played yet. I'd like to think that I've learned a lot and I've evolved my game. There's certainly a mindset that's changed, and I haven't gone out there and been able to apply it yet, but I think it'll be different. Most likely I'm going to have a new partner, so that's going to be a lot different, but I definitely know how I want to go about things. But you can't really start applying stuff until you have a partner, because that's half your team, right? You can be as good as you want at your stuff, but if you're not good at the team portion of it, you're worthless.
Right.
So that's a little frustrating. But yeah, there's a lot of things I'm seeing and ways I'm seeing the game advance and ways I'm seeing that I can maybe advance my game with my partner. And it's pretty exciting I'm just like, I want to go apply it and go practice it.
Right. Now, you mentioned that so you're signed up for Moscow's with Casey, Vienna is with Chase.
Yes.
And two very different partners, right?
Yeah.
So Casey is 6'6", a big physical defender. Chase is maybe 6 foot, if we're giving him the generous college listing, and he just runs around and digs everything. Is there like a certain type of partner you're looking for? And I know that we've talked a lot about the possibility of split blocking on past podcasts. I don't know if that's something too, because you played defense today and you were digging balls every time behind my block.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly open to it. It just depends. At this point, I'm like, I just want to be with that right player. Whether if it's a blocker, then I know I'd have a ton of work to do on defense, and in my back of my mind, I also like have a lot of unfinished business I need to do at the net. I need to go prove myself as a blocker a little bit more. But yeah, if that player shows themselves and they're my best option in terms of feeding off of each other and chemistry-wise, I'm down to go play D. I'm down to go split block because I really do love defense. I love being a player that can play every aspect of the game. But I still love blocking. Yeah. That's still my pride and joy. But yeah, so I'm just super open. The partners, like with Chase and Casey, it was more like Casey hit me up. He's like, you want to just sign up just for the hell of it? Because Stafford's not going to go to this one. I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't know if I'll be ready. He's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Yeah. And then Chase was he's kind of the next guy on the list that wasn't signed up for the event. Obviously a great player. And he's potentially going to be one of those next up-and-coming defenders. But yeah, I'm just very open-minded right now.
Yeah. And you said that you can withdraw 21 days before.
Yeah, so I should probably know that date exactly. I put it in my calendar, so my phone's going to remind me. But
I can bring up BVB to see.
It could be like it could be in like a week, like maybe July 7th, maybe.
Okay.
Ish.
Which is sort of coming up. So what would the kind of moment be where you would withdraw, that you knew that you wouldn't be able to do it? Because 21 days, like, you would still have some time to get those levels down that you need to get down. But at what point would you say it's not worth the risk?
If the docs tell me, if my inflammation levels are still up, like in a high range where it's dangerous to give maximal effort physically, then I'm not going to do it. It's not worth the long-term damage you can do with fully exerting yourself with inflammation in your muscles. That can actually create long-term damage. It's just not worth it for me. I love volleyball, but I'm trying to be active the rest of my life.
Right.
So yeah, it's just based on the numbers. I just feel kind of confident now with where things are at, and we're kind of in a transition state. So yeah, I don't know. It's tricky to say. I'm really like very on the fence about all this stuff. Like, I've told these guys, like, they don't have any expectations of me actually going. But if I can go, I will go.
Yeah.
That's a very vague answer, but I really don't know. Like, I'm as up in the air with it as you guys are. I go do a blood test and I'm like, okay, here's where we're at.
Yeah.
But we're transitioning to a new like medication and procedure that we're going to what do you call it? Whatever. My treatment plan is changing. So I'm confident that a few of my doctors are confident that this new treatment plan is going to help me a lot more. It works better for my lifestyle. The other one was kind of built for a normal person's lifestyle. This one can work for an athlete's lifestyle. So we're changing that up, which is exciting for me, but there's no guarantees. Plus there's a little transition period where your body has to start absorbing these new meds and all that stuff. So it's interesting time.
Yeah,
I wish I had a straight up answer, but basically everything's in the air.
Now we're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Wilson Volleyball. The AVP season is back, hallelujah, which means, guess what? We are back to playing with Wilson volleyballs again, and the college girls plays with Wilson, and the CBVA plays with Wilson, the AVP plays with Wilson. There is a reason that all of the pros and those about to become pros play with Wilsons. All right, it is the best ball in the game. It is the one the pros use, and the one that you should use as well. And the good news is that you can get 20% off by using our discount code WilsonSand. All right, and I'll say that one more time. You can get 20% off by using our discount code WilsonSand for 20% off of the best balls in the game. This podcast is also brought to you by Firefly Recovery. Listen, we're all athletes here for the most part, which means that we are all aching in some way or other or sore somewhere. All right, and a lot of times this is our knees, which is where Firefly Recovery comes into play, which is why I love them so much. So if you're one of those weird people who go to work every day, like I do, you can strap this onto your knee while you're sitting at your desk, and it helps you recover by moving the blood around in the region. I'm not a scientist. I don't know exactly how it works. You can go to fireflyrecovery.com. They have all sorts of testimonials and information out there. But what I just want to say is that it works. Like if you're traveling on a plane to an FIVB or a NORCECA or to AVP Austin or to AVP New York or Seattle or wherever it may be, use Firefly Recovery on the plane. It'll help you recover while you're sitting there on your plane ride, talking to people that you probably don't want to be talking to anyway. So use Firefly Recovery to be the best athlete that you can be. We would like to welcome a new sponsor to the show, Pacific Coast Wealth Management, or PCWM, if that's easier for you. If your financial plan goes beyond making it into the main draw of an AVP volleyball tournament, check out their online planning tool at pacificcoastwealthmanagement.com. When you're there, click on Build Your Financial Plan Here link and work with a licensed fiduciary advisor who can discuss 401k, IRA, life insurance, estate plans, tax strategy, Social Security, investments, or good old stock tips, also known as everything that beach volleyball players do not specialize in. You could use the help. Trust me, I know. Hit up Pacific Coast Wealth Management today. Business owners who need to offer benefits, retirement, or pension plans for their employees, partners, or themselves. Or 529 college savings or Roth IRA for your kids. Did you know you can gift $15,000 per year to your kid? Start with your favorite volleyball player by connecting with us at Pacific Coast Wealth Management Instagram or www.pacificcoastwealthmanagement.com or give them a call. 949-637-7052. Again, their phone number is 949-637-7052. Or we all know that beach volleyball, you're on Instagram. Hit them up at Pacific Coast Wealth Management on Insta. Hit them in your DMs, whatever it may be. Get in touch. We all know we need a little financial help in beach volleyball. These are your guys. Does it help that, is it all weighing into your decision making that, major events in FIVBs are super slow? So, you only play one match a day. Mm-hmm. Does that make it a little bit easier? Whereas, say, in an AVP, on a Saturday, you could play 3. So, that would probably be out of the question. But one match, maybe an hour's worth of exertion. I don't know if that would make it easier or more or riskier or less risky, right, or what. I don't know if that would help.
Yeah, I mean, no, it does. It does. I'm not going to go straight off the bat and go play four matches a day. That's not worth it coming into it. With the autoimmune disease aside, I'm not going to come off of a year and a half not playing and just throw myself into that. So playing at a slow pace, FIVB main draw, if I can get a wild card, that's something I'm willing to come into. I went and practiced today at a I wasn't going all out, but we competed. We didn't lose all the time.
And we played against some pretty good players. I mean, some no-name named Sean Rosenthal was out there.
Yeah.
Chase Budinger.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, definitely because I do want to play in an event this year to start my clock, like I said, and get my points back. So I think it's doable. And then with the new meds and treatment plan coming in after that, I have all off season. If I can just go play in an event and then see what happens at the end of this year, I don't really care. I'm very confident, like the way I feel right now, strength-wise, that I can be beyond 100% coming into 2019. That's pretty exciting. And
then, so, I mean, the FIVB, that's obviously your big goal is Olympics. What do you have to do? Like, what's your point situation for AVP? Do you know? Like, if you have to play, like, say, pop into Manhattan, you forfeit 2 in a row just to save your points? Is it anything like that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him about it. I only played in 2 events in 2016 anyway. So if they give me my 2, they're both finals, but...
you won Huntington?
No, that was... No. We played Manhattan and Chicago. That's it.
Okay.
And we were in both finals and lost both finals. So I'd have 2 finishes, and that would help. But hopefully they'll give me a wild card. Yeah. If not, then they're going to make me go play in some AVP next or something to try to get out.
Well, they gave AVP first kids a wild card, so that if they stiff you, then
yeah, we'll see.
It'd be an uproar.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not worrying about domestic. That's not the priority as much as like that's probably the most fun is playing domestically in front of our home fans. I just want to make sure if I can make this Olympic run, the odds are getting more and more against me, which is kind of nice. Kind of takes the pressure off me now. Coming into this quad, it was like, wow, this next quad's yours. In my mind, it was like, you're the young guy that's played in a quad, qualified but didn't get to go. You've been through the experience. It's time for you to go, you know? And now I've had this whole thing happen, and I'm like, well, at least I'm not really expected to go now.
Right.
You know, pressure's not really on me. It's another shot at just surprising myself and others kind of thing. But that depends on who I partner up with as well. If I get one of these guys who's capable of winning medals at the Olympics, I'm sure that pressure will, and we start performing right away, pressure will come.
Right. And Olympic qualification starts the end of this year, right?
Yes.
Like September?
So I believe it's your best 12 finishes starting in September.
Okay. There's a 3-star in China at the end of September that I think is the start. And then 2 weeks later, there's a 4-star also in China. And I'm pretty sure both of those are technically 2019 Olympic qualification begins.
Right. So I'd love to play in those, but I also know it's fairly long. Ideally, if I had my partner in place, like, yeah, let's go play in those at the end of this year, and maybe we can get some finishes that are going to help us in a year and a half, 2 years down the road when Olympic qualification ends. I think it's June before the Olympics.
Yeah.
In 2020. But right now, I understand that all these other partners and teammates are trying to do their best with their partner this year. So to drop your guy at the end of the year is not really worth it, you know?
Right.
It could be, though. We'll see.
Yeah.
Free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't reached out to any players really about playing next year. I've been very open and I didn't want to bother anyone during this season. I can't commit to anyone right now. So I just don't think that's really fair to be like, hey, commit to me in 3 months or like 2 months, you know?
Yeah.
And go play with your partner knowing that you're going to drop him. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just staying open with it, but we'll see what happens. If I can get myself to China for those end of the year qualification events, I can at least get some FIVB points. But they only count towards the Olympics if you're playing with the same partner that you're going to the Olympics with. Right. So if I don't know who that guy is, it's not really helping me.
At least, I guess, in a good way, in that this will give you time to really decide who you want to make that run with and that you're not shuffling partners. Because, like, Nick and Phil, what they did to qualify for 2016 was pretty incredible in that they got together really late.
They got together very late, but realistically, like that's why he's never even looked at his points. He doesn't care because you just go out there and win, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're doing all this point jumping and calculating and stuff. They just went out and they're like, what do we need? 10 events? All right, well, we have 12 chances. They won events and ended up top 5 probably in the Olympic ranking, and they went.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's a lot harder to do. You know, Phil's an anomaly, but me not playing in these 2 Olympic qualification events this year doesn't really mean all that much to me. A lot of teams are just going to skip it. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Phil and Nick don't go.
From what I understand, China is the worst place to play. That seems almost unanimous. Everyone I've talked to who's come back from a tournament in China is like, thank God we're back.
Yeah, it's not a bad place. It's just such a different culture. It's hard to keep your normal routines.
Yeah.
And the biggest routine when you're on the road and being an athlete is diet. So like everything's saucy and like the chickens, like it just, everything's a little sketchier, you know? We're used to clean American food and there's all these health standards and stuff. You're not supposed to drink the water out there. So if all your vegetables are washed in water, you're like, well, I'm not going to eat that. And then your chicken is like, they're like it looks like they just put a chicken on a board and just whacked it with a knife a bunch and then just threw it in the pan with a ton of sauce. And there's like a foot in there and there's shards of bones like sticking out. And you're like,
sounds great.
I think I'm good on that too. I'll have another serving of rice. And you know, the culture is different. People are different, like great people, but it's just like very busy and there's not as big of a space bubble for these people, or like, what do you call it? Like where they'll be like shoulder to shoulder with you and just like rubbing up on you and like doesn't mean anything to you and like be coughing and like whatever.
Yeah.
But for us, we're like, all right, like you're in my bubble right now. Like,
yeah.
Can you like stand like a foot further, please? You know, and it's just stuff like that, different culture.
Yeah.
But there's so many great things about China too. Like I'm so grateful to have gone there so many times.
Yeah. And you have plenty more opportunities because I mean there were 43 events on the calendar this season alone, I think.
They ain't worried about the amount that it costs to throw an FIVB.
No.
Not at all. They got lots of money.
Yep. If you had to pick, who are your favorites to make the Olympics for 2020?
Players?
We'll say we'll I don't want to say we'll count you out, but you can't pick yourself for this one.
Right, okay.
We'll do a round where you can't pick yourself and then a round where you can.
Okay. I can't count a lot of guys out. I mean, a few years ago, I would be counting Jake out. I'd be counting Hayden out.
Yeah.
I'd be counting a lot of guys out. Even Phil and Nick, I'd be like, they're going to be over it by 2020.
Yeah.
Now looking at them like, Jesus, Phil and Nick are still a top team in the world. Like, no one's even touching them right now.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off. They were doing that when I was around too, though. So
yeah.
But I just like, I want to get a shot at them. Come on. So I think it's going to be hard for Hayden. I think he'll do it. He ain't going to retire if he's winning. If he's top 2 in the world, like he's not going to retire in position to go to the Olympics. I think once things start to fall off for him, then he'll be over it. Unless someone offers him like a really good coaching job or there's a really good opportunity, which I would assume is going to come his way pretty soon. And once people realize he's getting closer to retirement. Okay, so the list. Phil and Nick. Taylor, I think Taylor's ready to compete at the Olympic level. Jake is certainly still ready. His game is changing. He's having to do what Hayden did. Hayden's physicality has changed over the years, and he's had to change his game to work with it, and he's done that successfully. The players that try to do the same thing over and over, as their bodies change, the game outgrows them, you know. But if you keep learning new ways, then you can evolve. And I think Jake's doing that pretty well. But his game's certainly changing.
Yeah,
like he ain't the same player I played against 3-4 years ago. So can't count those teams out. Hayden, can't count him out. I don't think he was planning on going, but he's going to make a run at it. Theo's, I think, a caliber player that is capable of playing at the Olympic level. Rosie, if he plays the way that he can play. You know, we've all seen Rosie. He's kind of had up and downs over the last few years, and he's committed with Budinger right now. I don't think that team is ready to go get the U.S. medal, or barely even ready to go qualify for us right now. So it's kind of a stretch, but I'm not going to count him out totally. You know, Reed Pretty says he's going for the Olympics. He hasn't proven that he can do that yet. But we all know how elite of an athlete he is, and how headstrong he is, at least in his beliefs and what he can do.
If he doesn't make it, it's not going to be from a lack of effort.
Exactly, yeah.
That's for sure.
Exactly. So those are kind of long shots, to be honest. Like I think Rosie, Budinger, Pretty, they would all have to, even Hayden and Theo, they could maybe do it, but I think they would all have to, like, one of each of those players would have to, the best of those two players in about a few months or a year would have to partner up and make a run at it, because it's not just about being top 2 in the U.S. You have to go qualify top 16 in the world.
Right.
So I don't know. I think we're not performing to our best level right now on the World Tour, and as of right now, Phil and Nick are the only team that's capable of getting us a medal. But we got time, and we got some good young athletes. That's a long answer.
Yeah. Someone asked me the other day who I thought was going to be our 2 Olympic teams.
Who did I miss in there? Did I miss anyone?
Trevor
Ryan,
and
Billy,
Mayer,
Trevor.
Billy and
Man,
Ryan.
I think Trevor's game's coming around, man. His confidence is really high, but he has to find the right system. I don't think he's found the system that's worked with his game
they've had
quite
such
yet on the
an
World
odd
Tour.
year, because they've won maybe a 2 and a 3 star, but then they just missed 2 qualifiers in a row, and then they'll come back to the AVP, probably make the semis.
Yeah, so like Billy Allen's such a great player, and like we talked about this before, like he's very underrated. But Mayer, Billy Allen, Ryan can certainly play well on the World Tour. He probably has the best World Tour resume out of those guys, but I just don't know if they're wanting to like put in that work and that grind. Like they seem pretty content. I don't know. That's kind of a bold statement. I just haven't seen the medals show up yet, so we'll see. I don't know. At the same time, these are my competitors, so it's hard for me to hard for me to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I was out of practice, and someone was asking who I thought was going to go to the Olympics for us, and I said Phil and Nick and you and Taylor. That would be my prediction. We'll see if you can
doable.
Snag him from Jake.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's why I haven't thrown around any names or made any calls yet. Because, like, imagine Jake hearing that I'm calling Taylor right now. He's going to sit Taylor down and be like, listen, kid. Pull his veteran magic. So I'm not calling anyone. I'm just watching.
Yeah, it's fun to speculate.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I finally opened myself to listening to partners. I haven't really reached out, like I said earlier, but if guys want to come pitch to me or hear my pitches, then I think
it's
time
NBA,
is becoming
it's NBA
appropriate.
free agent season right now. You're an unrestricted free agent.
I've been watching all of it. I'm listening to like Paul George get advice from Dwayne Wade the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, this applies to me perfectly right now.
I'm waiting for someone to give you like an elaborate pitch. You know how like they show them
happens.
around town.
It happens. It's like, hey, want to go grab some sushi?
Yeah.
What kind of sushi? If it's rice things down the street, I'm like,
yeah,
it's not. Come on, that's cheap sushi. Or I realistically, I'll probably be the one having to take guys out to sushi.
Yeah,
we'll
maybe.
see.
I don't know. I mean, blockers are in pretty high demand right now.
That's true.
Yeah,
that might be. Defenders gonna be pissed if I come back as a defender.
It would be pretty funny.
God damn it.
As a blocker, I'd prefer it. So,
oh, right, yeah.
Get another defender on the market.
Yeah, I wish I had more definite answers, but it's very up in the air right now. But I'm dipping my toes in the water, people.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
And so, I mean, that covers like 90% of the fan questions we get. I also, at every stop I've been to that you weren't there, so in New York, and then we didn't see each other a whole lot in Seattle, but when I was walking around Seattle, like, 20 or 30 people stopped me and were like, hey, like, when's Tri coming back?
Yeah, I know. Everyone thinks there's like an exact date. So I'm like, I would have just posted it right there on my Instagram if I knew an exact date. Like, why wouldn't I tell everyone?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So maybe maybe in Moscow, maybe Vienna.
We might get a sample. We might get a sample of Tri-Bourne this season. 2019, you're going to see the full Unleash the Bull.
There we go. Awesome. So that covers 90% of our fan questions. We do have one from a listener, from Aaron Mickelson, who says, "Hey guys, how do you get through the long days of playing in the sun during your tournaments, especially places like Austin? Are there any specific foods, drinks, supplements, etc., that you make sure to have during the day? I've played in a few daytime tournaments here in Arizona during warmer months, and I'm usually drained by the end of the day." And she said, "I have one tomorrow if you have time to give me any quick tips." Well, we are a couple weeks behind. So
sorry about that.
Sorry, Aaron, but for future reference, we will have some answers for you here.
Yeah, I mean, we play in a lot of hot tournaments like that. And just limit the time that you're in direct sunlight, basically, you know. You can limit your warm-ups. If it's hot, you don't need to warm up quite as much usually, right? Because you're literally warmed up. But you can do your warm-up in the shade. That's something me and Hayden would do. We would go find a tree, go pepper in the shade, do everything in the shade until we have to be on the court, and go hit a few balls out in the sun for warm-up. But right after a match, don't stand there and talk to people and stand in the sun, and stay on your feet. Go get off your feet, put your feet up on a chair, be in the shade, cover up, and hydrate. I mean, electrolytes. It's pretty simple. Water, electrolytes. There's nothing too crazy.
Any specific electrolyte supplement?
I mean,
just whatever.
Yeah, whatever. There's always a trending electrolyte. Usually there's some in the training room or in the physio tent, or bring your own. Go to Whole Foods. The trending one right now is that Nun stuff.
I haven't seen it.
Nun electrolyte, Noon, something like that. They got it at Whole Foods and all that. What else? Yeah, just stay cool. Don't let your body, if you're after a match, you're hot, cool your body down. It's still working. If it's hot, it's working to cool itself off, right? So help it out. Get your heart rate down quick. Rest. Get your feet up so the blood can flow out of your legs. Nobody notices how long it takes them to walk back to the players tent. I played 30 minutes ago and talked to 8 people on the way to the players tent. When it's really hot, we'll go shake hands, grab our bag, straight to the players tent. Coach can meet us there. We can talk about it there, but we're already in recovery mode. Some teams will be like, "Oh, stop along the way," taking pictures, and not that we're trying not to take pictures, but sometimes you got to take care of yourself. Just go straight there and save yourself 15 minutes of standing on your feet in the sun.
Yeah. I'm probably the worst person in the world to have
You're
this
too
question
nice.
asked, because I flame out of every long tournament that I play in, because I do such a bad job of this. Because I always it's almost arrogance, because I think I'm Superman. Oh, I can just play all day, not eat any food, just drink water all day, no electrolytes, and then come the finals, I'm going full body cramps. And in Austin, when we played Avery and Chase, we lost 24-22, and our match was an hour long. And I was dry heaving right after the match. So obviously I didn't do a good job of taking care of myself.
It's a little different beast when you're playing 4 matches in a day. But I have gotten when I first started playing, it was if I play the 3rd match, I'm burnt. This is different brand of volleyball that I'm playing. But once I started training for it, wrapping my mind around what I was going to have to do, I could play in a final after an entire week, and I'm jumping just as high as I am the first day. That's the goal, what you're trying to get yourself to.
Yeah.
4 matches, I don't know if you're going to be jumping as high, but you'd be surprised that all those minutes that you spend off your feet and cooling yourself down and stuff, it adds up over a weekend or an entire day.
I think
it helps at the end.
The biggest thing that's helped me out, especially in Austin, was eating food between matches. Because I used to just stock up on bars and stuff and eat a Cliff Bar between a match and think that was enough, but it's just not. Having a turkey wrap or a chicken sandwich or peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and fluff is my go-to. But just having real food instead of bars or supplements, I think helps way more than any power bar.
Listen, bars are. Go read the ingredients and then go take all the ingredients and put it on. You're okay, I'm going to pour a pack of sugar on this, probably refined white sugar. I'm going to pull in these like I don't know, cranberries that are soaked in sugar probably, and then like it's just these random ingredients that like taste really good and sweet, and you just want a quick fix. That's what a bar is, but it's not.
It's not going to keep you going throughout the day, like especially and I think our listener Erin here, she's probably playing in the AA or AAA tournaments in Arizona where you're playing 5, 6, 7 matches in a day.
Real food is what your body needs.
Yeah.
If you're a triathlete, you have to carbo load, right? You have to put food in your body that's going to be able to burn over time because you're doing an endurance sport. We play 30, 40 minute, hour, whatever, and then you have time to refuel. So you can refuel with like these vegetables and proteins that your body can just burn through quick, and then you can go refuel between matches. You don't have to fuel up for the whole day like an endurance athlete would because we have breaks. But Cliff Bars, for example, I would eat a Cliff Bar before lifting sometimes because I'd drive out to my trainers and it took a while. So I'd eat a Cliff Bar before, and every once in a while when my focus was off, because we're trying to be very intentional in the gym and like not be ADD, which I am, he'd be like, "What the hell did you eat before this? Like your focus is off. Like I can tell it's off." I'm like, "Cliff Bar." He's like, "Well, don't eat Cliff Bars." And then it's happened. It was the craziest thing. Like every time he called me out, I ate a Cliff Bar. I was like,
he knows.
Shit, I ate a Cliff Bar. Yeah. Like, wait, how could it? It's like these things are made for athletes. Like, but whatever's in it, for some reason, I was just like not as focused, and so that kind of shows you those things. It's like Gatorade. Come on, like that is delicious sugar water, and it works for you because if you're working out, your body can burn through anything. It doesn't mean it's high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's electrolytes in it, but why don't you just drink water with electrolytes instead of
Gatorade
instead of Kool-Aid with electrolytes?
Kool-Aid with athletic marketing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't drink Gatorade anymore.
I don't either.
Unless they want to sponsor us, then I love Gatorade.
Well, what I'll have to do, so in Austin, Bree Moreland gave me these hydration packets that like saved my life. I'll have to find out what they were called because they were awesome. Like
Gatorade used to make hydration packets called Gator Lights.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was basically just salt.
And that could work the opposite way because if you're dehydrated and taking salt, it's going to have the reverse effect. Your muscles are just done.
If you drink salt, drink a shitload of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, Aaron, that helps you out. Good luck in your tournaments from here on out. Sorry we couldn't get back to you sooner. We've been on the road a lot. The AVP's been like back to back to back. So glad we could finally sit down and have another bonus episode here.
Heck yeah.
Try. Anything else you want to add?
I wish I could be less vague about everything, but that's the honest truth. That's where I'm at. It's just like kind of week to week. And I got really no expectations for myself this year. My goal is to be healthy, which is a whole battle in itself. And if I do get to play this year, it's going to be go enjoy it. I think I've earned that, for myself. So I'm going to give myself this year to go enjoy playing volleyball whenever my body allows me to. And then 2019, I'm get back to doing what I love, which is grinding, trying to be the best team in the world, trying to get to that status.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, bud. We'll appreciate hanging out on here a Saturday, getting some pokey, getting some volleyball in.
Travis
and I,
podcast
has been a good day.
We're going to jump in. I think we confirmed we're going to go road trip it up to SF, right?
Oh, yeah. Road tripping up San Francisco and then maybe hitting Tahoe on the way back.
Yeah, I got to go see my sister and her wild banshees. But yeah, come check us out. If you guys are in San Fran, say hi to us, and we'll be maybe running around with a camera and say hi to the boys.
Absolutely. We'll have some fun.
Peace. That wasn't the best exit. Bye.